The mountains don't scare him. He's already trying to escape. The road is already starting to rise. The riders are about to climb the Col du Chaussee, an ascent of almost 16 kilometers. He's trying to bridge the gap. He's a good climber. He has ambitions for the polka dot jersey. He's only comfortable when the road rises. He's quite limited on the flat. He's a good puncher. You must keep a close eye on him on short climbs.
He's decided to have his guys ride. The breakaway riders will have to accelerate to hold them off.
The breakaway can't widen the gap.
There's plenty of damage at the back of the peloton. It will be a long day in the saddle for those who fall behind.
He's a pure climber, able to follow the very best when he's in shape. The time gap between the peloton and the escapees is stationary.
He's virtually taken the white jersey from us. The breakaway threatens the overall standings. He's decided to get his guys to put their foot down.
Allez, le maillot blanc. On est avec toi, maillot blanc. Continuez comme ça. Bravo. Forza, allez les gars. Allez les gars. Come on! Mitico! Maglia bianca! Allez, Silva, reviens avec moi, hein.
Allez les gars, allez, go, go, go! Allez, on y va!
Allez, allez les gars, on continue comme ça. Bye. Oh, c'est touché, Nicolas. Allez, vas-y. Allez les gars, courage.
He's the best placed in the overall standings amongst those at the head of the race. A teammate is beginning to lose touch.
There will be 10 mountain jersey points for the riders first over the top. He likes to climb at his own pace. He doesn't handle accelerations very well, but on the flat, once on his way, he's a big ruler.
Let's go!
The front of the race is 2 kilometers from the summit.
Courage, on continue. Allez les gars, courage.
Here's the positions over the last climb.
The chaussee descent is long and relatively dangerous. Riders will have to be careful if they don't want to fall. The gap isn't changing much.
Allez les gars.
The peloton is riding hard. Stay well placed. The tempo is increasing at the head of the race. The breakaway riders will try and manage the time gap.
The gap with the yellow jersey is melting away. The escapees will have difficulties going all the way.
Allez, faut s'accrocher.
Dai, forza! Non mollare! On te suit! Bravo! Non sono lontani!
Allez, faut s'accrocher.
Watch out. You'll soon have no more energy to attack.
Vai, sei un mito! Vai, vai, vai! Gli italiani sono con voi!
The first riders have reached the intermediate sprint.
The first rider in the intermediate sprint will earn 20 points towards the green jersey. He's a very good climber, but he prefers to ride at a steady pace. Acceleration is not really his forte, just like his skills going downhill, which are pretty poor. A very good climber and puncher, however, he lacks explosiveness.
Sei il migliore!
His best chance of victory is to try a breakaway from far out. If he wants to take points for the polka dot jersey, he must break away.
Here's the winner of the intermediate sprint.
The first slopes of the Col de la Croix de Fer are looming for the breakaway.
You must constantly try to shelter from the wind, so as not to consume energy. This is what allows a rider to edge clear at the end of the race.
The breakaway increases its lead on the yellow jersey group. The Croix de Fer is undoubtedly the main challenge of the day. With over 22 kilometres at an average of 6.8%, there will be a ferocious whittling away.
The end of the stage is not far off. Stay awake. It will soon start to move in the peloton.
Grandissima vittoria!
The yellow jersey does not necessarily need to attack. Depending on his lead, he can simply follow attacks and counter at the very end of a stage.
The breakaway is being reeled in. It will be difficult to withstand the return of the yellow jersey.
Bravo!
Allez, on lâche rien.
Les Français sont avec toi. Allez, accroche-toi.
Allez, allez. Allez, faut s'accrocher.
Vai, Italia!
Allez.
Plus vite!
Plus vite.
Continue comme ça! Bravo!
Allez. Allez les gars, on continue comme ça.
Les gars, on continue comme ça! Bravi ragazzi! Non mollate!
Allez.
Allez, courage les gars, allez vite!
Continuez comme ça.
Allez les gars, courage.
Allez, les gars. Ouais, Tony.
Allez les gars! Non mollate!
Allez, courage, on continue, les gars.
Allez les gars!
Allez les gars, courage, allez. Vai, Magnettone. Lâchez
Forza.
Forza, grandissimo raggio!
Continuez comme ça. Campione. Allez, le maillot jaune.
He's the best placed in the overall standings amongst those at the head of the race.
Continuez comme ça.
Courage, on continue! Figo!
Courage, on continue.
climbers in the breakaway.
The front runners are halfway up. They will soon be facing the most torturous percentages of the crud fair.
Allez, allez, allez les gars, courage. Allez les gars, courage. Ouais.
Lascia reale.
The advance of the lead group should be enough to carry it to the end.
Allez les gars, courage. Allez les gars, on continue comme ça.
Bravo les gars.
Allez les gars, courage.
The breakaway increases its lead on the yellow jersey group.
Continue. Dai, maglia bianca. I italiani sono i più forti.
Mais c'est qui les meilleurs? C'est qui?
Allez les gars, courage.
Good puncher, the Breton Cyril Gauthier is a rider with an attacking temperament.
Bravi ragazzi.
Allez les gars, courage. Allez les gars.
Here we go!
C'è il video.
Allez!
Allez les gars, courage, courage.
The time gap with the head of the race isn't changing, lads.
Forza ragazzi, coraggio.
Only 5 kilometers left for the race leaders. He's being left behind. It's good news for the overall standings. It's good. You're back on top of the overall youth standing.
One and a half minutes lead for the head of the race over the favourites. At 3 kilometres from the finish, there are still several potential stage winners. Only 2 kilometres left for the lead riders. No one has yet gained an advantage over his rivals. This should come down to a sprint. The riders up front have a 1 minute lead on the favourites group.
We're professional leaders. Come on, keep at it. Breakaway is 1 kilometer from the finishing line. Reduce speed a bit, otherwise you'll hit the wall. Seem to be running on empty. Lift your foot if you don't want to blow up.
A few minutes ago, he was the first across the finishing line. Here is today's stage winner. Congratulations to him. He managed to maneuver perfectly to snatch this victory. He can savor this moment. He will climb onto the podium to receive his jersey and a kiss from the hostesses. Here's the yellow jersey of this stage. He will be able to hang this jersey in his trophy room. Let's hope for him that he can add more. He will climb onto the podium to receive his jersey and a kiss from the hostesses. Here's the polka dot jersey of this stage. Let's hope for his sake that things go as well in the future, but for now, he can relish the moment. He's amongst the leading riders this year. Here's the white jersey of this stage. It is a moment that he soon won't forget, and which marks his career. Come on, let's applaud him once more.
Well done, lads. Congratulations to you. We were the pre-race favourites, and you lived up to the role with brio. Well done for this win. We finished with the yellow jersey and the polka dot jersey. It's superb, guys. This is a great performance. Hi, guys. Welcome to the briefing for this first stage. The main thing to grasp today...
Hello everyone and welcome to Corsica. The first stage, short and trouble-free, should end with a sprint. The only climb of the day will earn 1 point of the mountain standings.
The peloton is riding hard. Stay well placed.
The time gap with the head of the race is stable. 1.5 minutes for the breakaway. It might just work.
The gap is increasing. We don't need to ride for now. There's nobody dangerous for us in the breakaway.
Time difference between the peloton and the breakaway is steady. As we approach the intermediate sprint, a little reminder of the rules. The first 15 score points. The first will pocket 20 points. The riders are now entering the feed zone. They will be able to pick up something to eat.
The gap is decreasing, guys. The peloton should be there for the stage win.
The head of the race has 1.5 minutes lead on the peloton. Last time checked with the breakaway, 1 minute. The last kilometers are winding. You'll have to be well placed to avoid being caught out. 30 seconds lead for the head of the race. The breakaway is holding off the peloton, but it's going to be difficult.
Allez les gars!
Allez les gars! Courage! Continuez comme ça! Bravo! Allez les gars! Courage! Courage!
5 kilometers. It's very tight. The peloton is just behind the breakaway. It's going to be hard to predict.
Continuez comme ça, allez!
Collective fall. It may create gaps.
Continuez comme ça! Bravo les gars! Voilà les gars! Continuez! Comme ça!
The red pennant is in sight for the front of the race. He's a tough nut to be making off now.
The breakaway is at the red pennant. Last kilometer. You've got to sprint.
We had no real ambitions for the classification of this stage. The least that can be said is you didn't prove me wrong. Hi guys, let's start the briefing for this stage. Today there's a short...
We have the last rider at the start of this individual time trial. He'll do his utmost to produce the best time. Come on, let's give him a hand.
Come on, it's a short time trial. You must hit the right tempo as soon as possible. At the end of the straight, you'll have to turn right.
Allez, plus vite.
There's a left coming up. With the right trajectory, you can get through without braking. Go! Go! You're off the pace. Try to speed up. You can do better. Go! Go! Turn those legs! Just 2 more kilometers. Go!
Allez, allez.
After the red pennant, there's a right turn, and then it's the finishing line. Go! Go! Hang on in there! Go on! Flat out to the finish! Go on!
We had no real ambitions for the classification of this stage. The least that can be said is you didn't prove me wrong. It's the final stage, guys. It'll be a very demanding...
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This Corsican stage promises to be a great show. The climbs found at the beginning should provide us with a fine battle between the contenders for the polka dot jersey, and the final climb will force the favourites to show their worth.
The lead group is too large to work well together. It may explode into several pieces. The peloton is riding hard. Stay well placed.
The time gap between the peloton and the escapees is stationary.
The front of the race is 2 kilometers from the summit.
The Côte de Lévis sees 5, 3, 2 and 1 points awarded for the mountain standings. The time gap between the peloton and the escapees is stationary. The gap with the yellow jersey is melting away. The escapees will have difficulties going all the way.
When going downhill, the aerodynamic position is useful to increase speed without expending energy.
The next climb is classified as third category. There will be 2 points and 1 point for the mountain standings. Then the riders will tackle a much less rugged portion that should allow them to catch their breath. The gap with the yellow jersey is melting away. The escapees will have difficulties going all the way. The gap isn't changing much. The breakaway is increasing its lead over the yellow jersey, but there's no worry as it contains no big guns for the overall standings.
Yes, there's not a lot going on.
The breakaway increases its lead on the yellow jersey group.
The yellow jersey does not necessarily need to attack. Depending on his lead, he can simply follow attacks and counter at the very end of a stage.
One and a half minutes lead for the head of the race over the favourites. The breakaway increases its lead on the yellow jersey group.
Allez, continuez comme ça. Allez les gars! Allez les gars, courage!
The gap between the favourites group and the front is 30 seconds. The breakaway is being reeled in. It will be difficult to withstand the return of the yellow jersey. The front of the race begins the climb of the Col de l'Hospital, the true decider of this stage, with 14 kilometres at an average of 6.2%.
Okay, we'll relay. Okay, we'll relay hard.
The yellow jersey has just joined up with the lead group.
Continuez comme ça.
Les gars, courage, continuez comme ça. Allez les gars, courage.
Ouais. Bravo les gars.
It's a fairly constant climb, guys. The most difficult passage is located 5 kilometers from the finish. This is where victory can be decided. After that, it's not as difficult.
Allez les gars.
Allez les gars.
Allez les gars. Allez les gars, continue là, plus vite.
Continuez comme ça.
Allez les gars.
Allez les gars. Allez les gars, on continue comme ça.
For now, he's the virtual yellow jersey. Okay, we'll consume a feed. Okay, we'll relay. You still have 10 kilometers to make up some time.
Allez, courage les gars.
Allez les gars. Allez, go, go, go. Allez, on y va. Bravo les gars, c'est bien.
Allez, continuez comme ça. Allez les gars.
Allez, Michael!
Allez les gars!
Allez les gars, courage!
Change of leader in the overall youth standings. Go on, it's good. Keep it up. Keep up the tempo.
Ne fais rien, allez!
Allez le go!
Ouais! Allez, on te suit, Mathieu!
A teammate has just been dropped. You can't count on him any longer.
Allez les gars!
You're on your way to the top spot of the white jersey standings. It's great. Keep going, kid.
Continuez comme ça!
You'll soon be on the hardest section. Go, go!
Allez! Bravo les gars! Bravo les gars! Allez les gars! On descend avec vous!
Okay, we'll relay. You're 1 minute ahead of the yellow jersey. For now, he's the virtual yellow jersey. The yellow jersey is 1 minute 30 away from you.
Allez les gars, courage!
On est l'Afrique des Belges, hein!
Ne fais rien, allez!
Ouais! Allez les gars!
Allez!
Allez, vas-y! Allez les gars, allez, go, go, go! Allez!
Continue comme ça!
Continuez comme ça!
Faites rien les gars! Allez! 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 Allez les gars! Courage! Oh les gars!
Allez, courage les gars!
On est l'Afrique des Belges, hein! Allez! Lâchez les gars! Courage! Allez les gars, on continue comme ça! Oh les gars, courage! Allez les gars, on continue comme ça! Mais voilà!
It is not always a good idea to be too many in a breakaway, as the others will not necessarily want to cooperate with us. They're riding hard behind. This isn't the moment to relax. We're provisional leaders. Come on, keep at it. Reduce speed a bit, otherwise you'll hit the wall.
A few minutes ago, he was the first. He's amongst the leading riders. He's amongst the leading riders.
Well done, lads. Congratulations to you. We were the pre-race favourites. Hi guys, welcome to the briefing for this first stage. The main thing to grasp today is that the route is flat and without any difficulties. But be on your guard as the wind can lead to bordures. Normally, we'd put a cross through this stage, but with the...
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Given the absence of any major difficulties, we can expect a mass sprint finish. But watch out for the wind that could cause bordures and make for a totally unfettered race. Immediate counter-attack behind.
It's looking good. You've got more than a minute's lead on the peloton. You've got 1 minute 30 over the peloton. It turned out to be a good move. Essentially, you're the fastest of the group in a sprint. You must constantly try to shelter from the wind, so as not to consume energy. This is what allows a rider to edge clear at the end of the race. Watch out! You're not going to be able to attack for much longer.
The breakaway is losing ground.
The breakaway is upping the tempo at the head of the race. It doesn't intend to be caught up that easily. Flat stages. Little wonder that they're not shown in their entirety on TV.
Time difference between the peloton and the breakaway is steady. The breakaway is losing ground.
The gap is decreasing, guys. The peloton should be there for the stage win.
The head of the race has 1.5 minutes lead on the peloton.
The first riders are 2 kilometers from the climb. The riders up front still have something left. They're upping the pace to try to hold out till the end. The gap is decreasing, guys. The peloton should be there for the stage win.
30 seconds lead for the head of the race. The breakaway is in the sight of the peloton. There's little chance that it can hold off the sprinters' teams.
Collective fall. It may create gaps. Big crash in the peloton. He's just fallen. That may cost him some time in the overall standings.
The sprinters' teams have managed this stage perfectly. 5 kilometers out, the peloton is bunched and everything is in place for a mass sprint.
Just 5 more kilometers. We are heading for a mass sprint.
The sprinters are ready to fight it out. Well positioned on the wheel of their team members, they'll soon be burning rubber. The red pennant for the peloton.
Last kilometer. You've got to sprint. Watch out. You're not going to be able to attack for much longer.
We can say that everything is going well for him.
Well done, lads. You rode a very good stage. Finishing in the top 10, even though the stage didn't suit us, is very satisfying. We got up. Hi guys, let's start the briefing for this stage. The main thing to grasp today is that the route is...
Hello and welcome to all. The generally flat route should lend itself to a battle between sprinters for the stage victory. However, the peloton may be hit by crosswinds, which could see the idea of Borgias being hatched, some teams being perfectly able to exploit this type of situation.
Watch out! You're not going to be able to attack for much longer. You've got 1 minute 30 over the peloton. It turned out to be a good move. Watch out, guys. We're coming to an exposed zone. As expected from the briefing, there's wind. Stay up front. You're the best placed on the overall standings in the breakaway. Here's the winner of the intermediate sprint.
The time gap with the head of the race is stable. Time difference between the peloton and the breakaway is steady. The breakaway is losing ground.
Flat stages. Little wonder that they're not shown in their entirety on TV. Watch out, guys, because in 10 or so kilometers, the roads will be wide open and the wind could have its say. Stay well up front to avoid being caught by a bordure. The breakaway is upping the tempo at the head of the race. It doesn't intend to be caught up that easily.
The breakaway is losing ground.
The peloton is riding hard. Stay well placed. The gap is decreasing, guys. The peloton should be there for the stage win. The riders up front still have something left. They're upping the pace to try to hold out till the end.
Last time checked with the breakaway, 1 minute. 30 seconds lead for the head of the race. Looks like the breakaway still has some gas left. It's still able to widen the gap. The next two climbs are classified as fourth category. There is only 1 point to be had at the top of each.
first riders are 2 kilometers from the climb.
Allez les gars, courage!
Continue les gars. Bravo les gars.
Allez
Oui,
les
oui,
gars.
oui, vas-y! Allez les gars, courage!
Allez les gars.
Allez, go, go, go! Allez, on y va!
Allez, vas-y.
Continuez comme ça.
The gap is decreasing, guys. The peloton should be there for the stage win.
Bravo les gars.
Allez les gars, courage!
Comme ça.
Courage!
Allez les gars, courage.
Here's the positions over the last climb.
Les gars. Allez les gars, on continue comme ça. Continuez comme ça.
Allez, vas-y!
Allez, courage.
Allez, courage les gars, allez plus vite!
Continuez.
He's in trouble. It's not sure that he'll be there for the sprint. Watch out. You're not going to be able to attack for much longer.
Allez, on lâche rien!
Allez.
The breakaway is holding off the peloton, but it's going to be difficult.
Allez, allez! Go, go!
Allez, allez, allez. Allez, Caro. Allez, vas-y.
Bravo!
Plus vite.
Continuez comme ça.
Vas-y, Marco, vas-y.
Hop, 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 hop.
They're riding hard behind. This isn't the moment to relax.
Allez les gars, courage!
We're professional leaders. Come on. Keep at it. You were first over the top of the climb. That's good. Watch out. You're not going to be able to keep up this pace for very long. You risk a blow-up. You have 30 seconds on the peloton.
15 kilometers from the finish. The peloton is in pretty good control of the situation and should soon catch up with the breakaway riders. We should witness a mass sprint. We're 10 kilometers from the finish. The escapees are hanging on, but with less than a minute's lead, it's almost impossible for them to hold off the return of the peloton.
Go! Another 10 kilometers. It won't be easy, but give it a try. Watch the demeanor of the other sprinters to know when to launch your sprint. If you start too soon, you will be unable to continue your effort to the line. If you start too late, you will not have time to work your way to the front.
Another 5 kilometers. The sprinters' teams are putting the peloton along at very high speed.
Just 5 more kilometers. We are heading for a mass sprint.
Only 3 kilometers left for the peloton. Everything will come down to the sprint.
Bravo les gars, c'est bien.
Allez les gars, courage! Attention les gars! Allez les gars, continuez comme ça! Courage, on continue!
Last kilometer for the peloton. The sprinters are in the front line. They will soon be burning rubber.
Go! 1 kilometer. Give it all you've got. If you continue at this rate, you'll explode.
He's amongst the leading riders this year.
We had no real ambitions for the classification of this stage. The least that can be said is you didn't prove... Hi guys, let's start the briefing for this stage. The main thing to grasp today is that the route is flat and it harbors no particular difficulties. A sprint finish is more than likely. We don't have what it takes.
Hello everyone. This is a high-tension stage that is set before the riders. If breakaway candidates pay dearly for their place at the front, the main actors of the overall standings should also not go untouched by the stress of the narrow roads that they will follow. The race leaders will soon attack their first climb of the day, the Côte d'Arbois, classified as 3rd category. The intermediate sprint will be fought out in Marigny. As with each intermediate sprint, Only the top 15 score points.
The breakaway is upping the tempo at the head of the race. It doesn't intend to be caught up that easily.
The next hill is also classified as third category. It's the Côte de Clairvaux-les-Lacs. Not particularly difficult, the final will be much more demanding. Time difference between the peloton and the breakaway is steady.
Flat stages. Little wonder that they're not shown in their entirety on TV.
Riders will begin by the Col de la Croix de la Serre, a second category climb of nearly 15 kilometers.
His team is riding for the overall standings. The front of the race will struggle to widen the gap.
Allez les gars, continuez comme ça.
Allez les gars,
Courage, allez. Bravo, les gars. Continuez comme ça.
Lâchez rien. Allez, allez les gars, continuez comme ça. Allez, allez,
Courage, on continue.
bravo,
Allez, les gars,
courage, continue.
Bravo, les gars, c'est bien.
allez les gars, on continue. Continuez comme ça.
Last time check with the breakaway, 1 minute.
Allez les gars, courage. Lâchez rien. Allez les gars, courage.
Allez, bravo les gars, allez-y, allez-y.
Bravo, les gars. Bravo,
The
les gars,
riders
c'est
up
bien.
front still have something left. They're upping the pace to try to hold out till the end.
Continuez comme ça.
Allez les gars, on continue là.
Allez les gars.
Allez les gars.
Continuez comme ça. Allez les gars. Allez les gars.
Allez les gars, on continue comme ça.
Continuez comme ça.
The breakaway is holding off the peloton, but it's going to be difficult.
Allez, les gars,
Allez
courage.
les gars, courage, continuez là, plus vite, plus vite.
Allez les gars. Courage. Allez les gars.
There will be 5 mountain points for the rider who's first over the top. Looks like the breakaway still has some gas left. It's still able to widen the gap.
Allez les gars, continue. Bravo les gars. Lâchez rien, allez. Les gars, on continue comme ça. Allez les gars, plus vite.
Courage.
Bravo les gars, allez-y, allez-y.
Continuez comme ça.
Allez, courage les gars.
30 seconds lead for the head of the race.
Bravo les gars.
Eso es, chavales.
Courage, on continue.
Più veloce.
Bravo. Allez les gars. Allez les gars, courage. Continuez comme ça. Allez les gars. Allez les gars. On continue comme ça. Allez les gars. Lâchez rien, allez. Bravo les gars. Allez les gars.
Bravo, les gars.
The first riders are 2 kilometers from the climb.
Allez les gars!
A teammate has just been dropped. You can't count on him any longer. Watch out. You're not going to be able to keep up this pace for very long. You risk a blow-up.
The riders are all back together. Everything will be played out in the final kilometers.
Continuez comme ça. Allez les gars, courage.
Allez les gars, on continue comme ça. Allez les gars.
Courage les gars, allez plus vite.
The small climb that looms ahead is far from awe-inspiring. But sometimes it is on this type of terrain that one can surprise opponents.
Allez le go.
You are 2 kilometers from the top.
Continuez comme ça, allez!
Continuez comme ça, continue.
Allez les gars, courage.
Allez le go.
Allez les gars, courage!
Allez les gars, courage.
Allez les gars,
Allez les
courage!
gars, on continue comme ça. Allez les gars.
Continuez comme ça, allez!
If you continue at this rate, you'll explode.
The descent before the final climb is short, but there are some tight bends which won't allow riders to relax.
Continuez comme ça. Allez les gars, on continue comme ça. Allez les gars. Bravo les gars.
Plus vite.
Allez Louis,
Allez les gars. Oui Niki. Bravo les gars, c'est bien.
The last climb will be decisive.
et voilà.
The best tactic is to ride as if the finish was judged at the top, because afterwards it's downhill all the way. Alone at the top of the Col du Sentier no doubt offers the greatest chance of victory today,
Bravo les gars.
but it
c'est
won't be
bien.
easy to give the peloton the slip.
Allez les gars.
Continuez comme ça. Allez les gars, courage. Courage les gars, courage.
Ouais! Da kommt schon gepunktetes Trikot!
He's accelerating.
Bravo les gars.
Bravo les gars!
Bravo les gars.
They're riding hard behind. This isn't the moment to relax.
Courage, continue.
We're professional leaders. Come on, keep at it. You have 30 seconds on the peloton.
There's movement at the head of the
Bravo les
peloton.
gars.
We've got enough of a points lead for the polka dot jersey. There's no way we can lose it today. Keep it up.
Comme ça. Lâchez rien, allez! C'est parfait.
Watch out, he's trying to get away on a counter-attack.
He's just fallen. That may cost him some time in the overall standings. Collective fall. It may create gaps. You have 30 seconds lead. Last kilometer. Don't look back. The peloton is right behind you. Watch out. You're not going to be able to attack for much longer.
He tops the standings and will... He is in sparkling...
Well done, lads. You rode a very good stage today, finishing in the top 5. Hi, guys. Let's start the briefing for this stage. Let's be clear.